this guy asked for a big dragon on his leg. A leg is approximately the size of a couple of bags. So it's a huge project. And I was excited about it. But of course it's not easy to apply a big dragon that revolves around the leg. But anyway, that's my job. So first of all, I traced a few lines on his leg, and then with a transparent adhesive paper, I transferred those lines on this paper. Then I scan them and I work by myself. As you can see, I use those lines just as a reference for the size and where everything goes. So I traced a sketch, but I wasn't very happy with the first sketch, so I took the time just because the project is huge, and so it was easy for me to have a overall view of the project in a small size. I used the first sketch in Photoshop, and I traced those lines that you can see up there on the left. And so starting from there, I built the structure and also the structure for the scales, because we decided that the scales had to be hexagonal. And it's not easy to do a lot of scales already, but doing them as hexagons, it wasn't even harder. But anyway, it took some time. It took a long time. I remember, well, I don't remember because I just finished yesterday this project, and I was so excited about this project that I did it in a couple of rounds. And what I mean in a couple of rounds, I mean that basically I started designing and I was so excited that I didn't sleep. I went on for about 30 hours and then I fall asleep for 15 hours. Then I wake up and I work again other 30 hours, maybe more, maybe 36 hours without sleeping, because I was too excited about this job. I really loved it. And the part that I was most in love with was the idea that the dragon has to raise from the water, but not just raising from the water. Probably, if possible, look it like it was the water that became the dragon. So that part to me was really exciting. I was a bit worried that the dragon could be too aggressive, because this dragon is dedicated to the mother of the client that she unfortunately disappeared recently, and it in some way is linked to her passion for dragon boat that I didn't even know it existed. I think it's a sort of sport competition with boats that in the front have some shape of a dragon, something like that. So yeah, I was worried, like maybe it's too aggressive for his mother. But anyway, he liked it. The first idea was to have this dragon revolving around the leg and revolving around a paddle that is the, let's call it, instrument that they use to navigate with these boats. But I didn't like the idea. It was, I don't know, too cartoony maybe, the idea of an aggressive dragon with a paddle in his clothes. Well, I didn't like it. So I proposed to the guy, what about a pendant, like a necklace with a pendant with the shape of a paddle? He liked the idea, and I think it worked a lot better than a dragon with a paddle. Is really, I don't know, it's too cartoonish from my point of view. And of course the idea to have the dragon revolving around the leg wasn't easy, and well, the best idea that I had is just to create one link from the it's not even correct to say that, I don't even know how to say, I mean, making the dragon revolving around the leg and make it look it natural, Uh, I mean, it isn't easy. Here you can see I use sometimes some reference for the water. I just open the image and sometimes I just forget it's there. Just probably with my peripheral view I see that, but I don't copy it. It's just I don't know. It's just a backup, just to know that I'm doing something in the right way. So going back to the idea of the dragon revolving around the leg, if I do a dragon revolving around the leg like a spiral or something like that, it will look absolutely unnatural, like a sticker. So I created different spires so that it's difficult to understand where it starts everything, and so it gives you the idea of the dragon revolving around the leg. And here you can see I'm using some pictures taken from my garden of some roses, because the preferred flowers of his mother was the rose, so we have a few roses around the tattoo, and it's not really the flower linked to the dragon, but anyway, it's not an oriental dragon, it's not a Japanese dragon, so there's no need for cherry flower or something like that. He likes roses, and so we do roses. I don't see anything wrong with that. But to avoid that those roses look too much photographical, I avoided the idea of tracing them, and I just used them as references, and I drew them. That's all, just to keep it fresh and have a more designed look than a photographical look. Then I did all my structure, all the design was ready, and so I was happy, the client was happy, so I took another sheet of paper and I started redoing all the design, basically, in a more realistical way. Of course, it's not realistic, it's not photographical, because we don't have a picture of this. And anytime that I do something like that, I realize that I made tattoos from so many years that to me sometimes it is difficult to recreate the effect that I know I can create in a tattoo with my needles and tattoo machines than with pencils. Of course, I can do something more photographical with Photoshop, but I want to keep it real. There's something that I can do in Photoshop and something that I cannot do on skin. So it's useless to make an incredible illustration of a dragon if then I cannot recreate the same effects on the skin. So that's why I prefer, especially when I'm working on black and gray project, working on paper with my pencil, because it keeps me more attached to the kind of work that I have to do. So here basically, as you can see, I'm tracing my first design and trying to make it more realistic with the shadows and the whites and all the things that are needed to create this effect. The water was intense because, of course, to create the idea of the water, of the transparency, and also the kind of splashes of water that are revolving around the dragon while this is coming out from the water is not easy. And probably it has a sort of cartoonish style, like a comic, but I like it. I like it, and I think it works, especially in the future. I think it will stand the test of time a lot more than a realistic effect, all of shades and so on. I think, and anyway, it's original. This reminds me also that I wanted some time, I don't know, a few years ago, I wanted to do a dragon made of car tires using that pattern, but I never did. And with this one, with those hexagonal scales, I think I got pretty close to that effect that I wanted to create. But I have to say, I really enjoyed this work. Just for example, I didn't sleep for a couple of nights because I was so eager to get it done. I was really, I don't know, sometimes there's something like the inspiration that comes from outside, I don't know from where. If you're a spiritual guy, probably you can think about something like something that comes from the ether, or, I don't know. But anyway, I couldn't stop drawing this dragon. I really was possessed. I had to complete the work as soon as possible. It was very intoxicating almost, and I'm very happy of the final result. Here you can see I'm drawing that part of the dragon that will go from one side to the other side of the leg. So it is attached there, and will link to the other side, because of course this is revolving around the leg. I don't know how many hours I will need to complete this work. Of course, it depends basically also by the pain tolerance of the client. Here you can see I just scanned the design, and I'm cleaning that up because the paper is soft gray, so it's not really white. Of course the skin is not really white, but I wanted to increase the contrast and see how could it be with more contrast, let's say. So there's nothing much left to say apart the fact that I love this work, and commenting something that goes to this speed, it's I don't know, it affects my way of talking, because of course I try to say more than I can, and also talking too fast probably. But anyway, this is my last work. I love it. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you like, subscribe the channel, click on the bell, and see you the next time. Now you will see the mock-up in 3D, and see you next time. Bye bye.